Today is the day we finally make our first major building, our first little base. But there are a few things I want to knock out before we start building. First things first, I made a couple of iron golem farms from Easy Villager so we can basically have infinite iron and we never have to go mining for iron again. And the next thing I want to do is set up some traders from Easy Villagers with different books. So mending, unbreaking, efficiency, sharpness, protection, just so when we come to make our full diamond set, which we will be doing a little bit later on, we've got all the books and everything we possibly need to get the perfect set of enchantments on our tools and armor. And after spamming away for what felt like 30 minutes, we managed to get most of the books that we actually wanted. The only one we couldn't get was Fortune. So the way I did this instead was I made the enchanter from Ender.io and basically crafted myself a Fortune book. And with all the books acquired and thrown on our tools and armor, this is what our set is looking like. So all of its protection 4 with mending and unbreaking. Our pickaxe with unbreaking, mending, all efficiency and fortune up. And our sword just looking a little bit beastly. Now let's get on to the meat and potatoes of this video, the building. So you might be wondering, what's the goal here? What's the vision? What's the idea? Well, the idea that I had is a somewhat Star Wars themed idea where Rey goes and visits Luke. And they have that like cave with a little bit of like an outside balcony area where she does meditating. But you'll see before they even get into that cave that there's like a staircase they follow and it goes around the mountain and stuff like that. I want the same idea here. And then it goes into a cave where we'll put like, I'm thinking the mystical agriculture stuff. There's 2 altars with mystical agriculture. You get your first one where you make your seeds, and then you get like the upgraded one, which you don't really use as often, but will have anyway. So of course, the starting point, of course, is the stairs. Now with the stairs, I want to texturize them. I don't want them just to be plain cobblestone stairs. I want mossy cobblestone. I want normal stone. I want deep slate to add a bit of color variation. We're going to add these stairs and just follow the gradient of the mountain until we feel at a point where we're like, right, okay, we're going to start putting this room in. With the texturizing done, I think this is the point where we're going to start making the room. And just like that, the room is complete. You can see we've gone for a lovely stone brick textured floor with the walls of the room looking sort of like the outside of the mountain to try and keep it all fitting in, make it all look natural. You can see it's all like rounded off in a way. And you'll see there are 2 ritual style like altars outlines, if you will. Those are for the 2 setups for mystical agriculture. I thought I need to try and lay this out in such a way where I know it's not going to, the room's not going to be too small. And this is the way I've worked it. And now you can see as well, I've put in the balcony, and then coming off that balcony will be another set of stairs that take us right to the top. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this room, if you will. Is there anything I could add to make this room a little bit better? Is there anything else that I should put in there other than mystical agriculture stuff? Let me know down in the comments below. But anyway, let's get this staircase finished. Same principles apply for this one as well. Again, following the line of the mountain, texturizing and everything, like I say, until we get to the top, which I never told you about what was going at the top. I'm going to be putting a mage tower up there, which is where we'll be doing any magical mods, evil crafts, ours, can't say the last bit, occultism, things like that. We'll be doing all of that up in that mage tower. But as we got to the top, it wasn't quite big enough to fit the size of tower that I had in my head. So I had to get rid of a couple of layers of the stone, moss, clay, any water that was up there. And once we had flattened out the surface, we were ready to start throwing up this mage tower. There was one very, very big problem that I had when building this mage tower, and it didn't occur to me until I was about halfway through this build. And it was the building height limit. I only had about maybe 50, 60, possibly even just 70 blocks to play with here. So it couldn't be absolutely massive. As big as I want anyway, it couldn't have been as many floors as I would like. But being the builder that I am and the person that I am, I completely didn't realize this and just carried on building. So this build consisted of stone bricks, cobblestone, any sort of texturizing materials, whether that be mossy cobblestone, cracked stone bricks, mossy stone bricks. And then I thought, instead of just doing like a normal spruce or a dark oak little sea like roof, I thought I'd go with these weird planks that I found in the nether. And the planks that we went for were called brimwood. Now, you lot won't see this until the very, very end of the build, but I thought I would go with something I've never built with before, and I've never really used these brimwood logs. You find them in the nether, and these planks have like a fiery effect. They're slightly animated, and that's what drew me to them. I thought maybe it'll actually look really good against the grey of the stone bricks. But without further ado, let's focus and get this build completed. And bam! This is what the build looks like. Almost completed. I haven't added the texturizing in yet and anything else that might make this build look a little bit better. But as we gracefully fall down, you will see the tower's beauty. And as I do take you on inside, you can see all the floors have a lot of space. There's even some floors that are a little bit more on the outside world. But as we do get up the tower, the rooms do start becoming much smaller. So there's really only one thing left to do to this build, and that is to add all the texturizing in. And just like that, the final build is complete. You can see we've added grass around the outside. We've added flowers, bone mealed everything so it looks nice and presentable. We've texturized the whole building, adding vines, mossy bricks, cobblestone, and cracked stone bricks. We've even added some of the glow berries so that when they grow, it lights the place up as well. And as we walk around, you'll notice we've got a couple of ponds. Now, the water is coming from the broken off miniature towers / spires that come off the side of the mage tower. And I think this just adds so much detail. And that's one thing that you need to do in your builds, that if I can give anyone a tip on building, it's texturize. That right there will make any build 10 times better if you can just spend some time, texturize your building, add little details such as ponds, grass, different variations of blocks in your builds. And you can see we've not only just done it on the outside, we've done it on the inside too, and even on the spires and everything. But with all that being said and done, that's going to do us for today's episode. Leave a comment down below and tell me your thoughts on this build, what I could add to it, what mods we should get into next. You know, if we could rate this building out of 1 and 10, what do you guys think? But thank you all for watching today's episode. So if you have enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new around here and you want to subscribe, please do. That would be amazing. And I will see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye.